Welcome back to the show, you lovely lads and ladies. I'm going to talk about today one of the more friendly back and forths, and if you want to call it banter between Call of Duty pros that we have broken down in a long time. And it's kind of refreshing to see this for once, because of all the beef and banter we talk about, it doesn't usually enter the fairy tale ending. Between Parasite and Wuskin, though, it actually does, which is pretty incredible. Last time we talked about Wuskin was the unfortunate leaving out of him throughout this CDL season, and yes, it was him and his brother a long time back. It's crazy how fast time flies. They were kind of targeted for what some people called their focus on Warzone and streaming as compared to the main game. Of course, luckily his brother Scraps did find a spot. Unfortunately, Wuskin did not. As to what Parasite went to the CoD Cast, go check out the full episode. Love what those guys do as per usual. Make sure to go check it out, especially Parasite's episode. He has a lot to say. Not the last time I'm going to talk about Parasite, not the last time I'm going to talk about his stint and, of course, the overall London Royal Ravens, but here's what he had to say about Wuskin taking the easy route this season.
Any team should have taken that charge, realistically, right?
Listen, I'm gonna stop you here because I was a part of London, so like I heard from I've talked to London guys, so I know more about this stuff. When it came to the twins in specific, it was not about their skill, and that is why they were in that position last year, because skill isn't always the number one thing driving a team's decision when picking up a player. There's a lot of players that are prime examples of that. And that's simply what it was. And this is not the shit on Wuskins in any sort of way, but Wuskins preaches about how he should be given a shot and all this stuff. And I agree, he's a great player, but he's not even competing in challengers. He's not even trying to compete. So if he truly cared about the game, he would show it. And I'm not going to say that mentally he doesn't care, because I'm sure it bites him. It bites him in the ass every now and then, where he's just thinking about, man, I should have done this, or I should be in the league and stuff like that. But he needs to show it with his actions. And for him to not be competing in challengers speaks volumes to players, managers, franchises, etc. that when they go to look for players, if they see a guy that didn't even try to compete last year, they're not even going to look at that guy. They're going to look at the players that, despite all the hardship and shit that they go through and the fact that they were dropped and stuff like that, they're going to look at those players first, because they see that they still care, and it doesn't matter what situation they're put in, they're going to still go hard. But that's kind of off topic in terms of what you were talking about.
Wow. And after being posted to Twitter, it's actually them going back and forth as well, with first Wuskin saying he don't understand what European challengers is like, and I didn't end MW how we did to play hackers all year. I still play COD and still shoot my gun like it was champs yesterday. Don't worry about me. To which Parasite goes, we deal with hackers all the time. Listen, man, I think you're a beast, but if B-Sport can go from coaching to competing and doing well in challengers, you had no excuse. Compete if that's what you intended to do. Wuskin says, I didn't even get a good enough offer to compete in challengers, bro. What are you talking about? Parasite says, make your own opportunities. And Wuskin wraps it up by saying, just because I'm trying to grow a brand doesn't mean I can't play Call of Duty again. Bro, relax. I'll show you when the new one drops. I respect your opinion, though. And it was an incredibly friendly back and forth, and you totally understand both sides, especially a guy like Parasite, who did, for some miracle by a lot of eyes out there, make his own opportunity this season with a very short loan to the London Royal Ravens. Unfortunately, the project he does get his chance with was a very questionable project with a lot of internal and behind the scenes struggles that we all know about. Point of me recording, still the only winless team in the entire league, but he made that happen. To which I bring up another response out there, ironically so, someone I have on par with a guy like Parasite trying to make an opportunity for himself in the CDL if possible, is Censor. To which he goes, I'm glad you're killing it with a stream, Wuskin, and I really hope any good players or orgs who read this give you a shot off the start of next year. It's an incredibly political, stressful situation when you take off of a game. I can definitely relate to both sides of this argument. It sucks wanting to compete, but having the opportunity to step back and grow your brand so that you can comfortably compete without having to worry about financials. And Censor's opportunities, or maybe lack thereof, and his struggles to actually make it back to the CDL despite his opportunities with New York subliners last season, we have talked about that time and time again again. Maybe we'll hop back into that if this discussion does continue. But where do you guys fall on this? Because certainly Wuskin has chosen, much like any of the pros who could not find a job in a starting spot in a limited league, of course, going from 5v5 to 4v4, job opportunities are super limited. Of a lot of those pros, a lot of them didn't go to challengers. They went to streaming, they went to Warzone. They are trying to get by until a next title pops up, and maybe an opportunity it does as well. But to kind of fight that, Parasite has made his own opportunity and had made it back to the league this season. It might not have worked out, but he did make that opportunity and take away focus from what could have been streaming and Warzone, and now back in challengers. So you know, you definitely see both sides. Very lastly, why I say friendly banter is because all of this ended just this past weekend on one of the streams where Parasite then raided Wuskin. So it's very clear that both these guys respect each other's opinion. They weren't necessarily trying to go at each other, but it makes for a great discussion of all the pro players out there who are not in the CDL, who are trying to make it in challengers, or who are trying to make it streaming and doing content and playing Warzone, and what this means for next season and what opportunities will arise. What do you guys think? Huge shout out to Parasite and Wuskin for a nice, calm, and friendly discussion, huh? Hopefully next one will be a bit more riled up. All right, until next time, take care of yourselves. Drink water, drink coffee. I'll catch you guys back here in the next one.